Hey yo, what's up? So today I wanted to make a video explaining the tutorials and the very basic mechanics of the game Throne and Liberty. And so if you're a beginner or new player or returning player, or if you're going to try the new expansion that is coming soon to Landre, then this video could be for you here, because here I'm going to explain how the game works, the tutorial, and some very basic things about the game. And so in my case, I've been playing the game since launch. So I don't know if I could consider myself a veteran or something like that, but I've been playing the game a lot, and so hopefully this video can be helpful for new players. And so it's actually perfect because today I want to create an alt character, and so here this is my main obviously, but it's perfect for me because it allows me to create an alt character here. And so here I'm creating a new game, and I have to choose the server that I want to be on. And currently I think it's about a week or something. Everything's going to change about the servers because I think on February 13 we get the server consolidation or whatever. And so here you get to choose the server, but all these servers might get deleted or merged or anything like that. So in the next week, anything could change. But for now, I'm playing on the Loti server, but in a week, that's going to change completely. So we'll see. So here I'm gonna listen to this cinematic here, because it's been a while actually.
Said to be the seal stone containing Siliveth, goddess of destruction. This magical star of destruction was shattered into pieces all across the world, and those who were born with this fragment were called the Starborn. In 1192, during an age of conflict, the Archean commander Khazar sought to use the power of the star fragments as a tool of war. Khazar sent the witch Calanthea to the remote island where Starborn were hiding.
We must protect the children at all costs. I'm sorry, child.
Alright, so that was the intro here, and I don't think this cinematic is very important, but I guess it can be interesting if you care more about the lore or things like that. And so here, this is where we get to create our character. So I'm not gonna go too much in depth about it, because you create your own character, you move the slides, or you choose the way you want it. And so in my case, usually what I do is that I choose a designer preset, and so it's a character that has already been made by someone or something, and I usually choose one of these, and then I change it to my liking or whatever. So I'm gonna choose this one, and you can also randomize, I guess. But if you don't like the preset, or you want to change something, then you can just go through the menus and customize your character the way you like. So in my case, I'm gonna stick to that. So let's just start game. So here in the beginning, there's a small intro that teaches you a lot, all the basic mechanics about the game, and this is what I want to talk about mostly here. So hopefully that can be helpful. So by default, you get two weapons, and you get the greatsword and the bow. And so here you get to move. You can select your targets, and then you can start attack. All these attacks here, all these buttons here are all attacks. So here I just auto attack, so that's what it is. And so here, all these things, they all do different things. But for now, I don't think it's very relevant. It's just, you just have to know that these things can attack, they do different things. Here it's quite important because it teaches you how to block. And so in my case, my block, I changed it. It's R, but I think by default, the block button is Q. And so it's a very important mechanic in the game, knowing how to block, okay? And so here you go. It allows you to block some attacks, and then you can finish off the enemy. There you go. One important thing about the block is that there are different kinds of block. And so yes, there's the normal stationary block like this. But let me just kill this guy. There's also the block dodge like this. Like directional block, I think it's called. I call it dodge, but you know, it's just the same button but while moving. And so here, I was using my greatsword, but here you can use the bow. And so here you can change your weapon. I think by default it's right here. And so if you attack by range, then you can kill this guy at range. So the bow is a ranged weapon, so I'm able to attack by range. Let's continue here.
Awaken the wild power in the star fragment.
Okay, so here we have to escape, and here it's saying Shift W on keyboard, and it is to dash. And here, this is kind of, there are many forms, there are many morphs like this, but this is kind of the equivalent of mounts in other video games. And so here it allows you to go faster, and it's the equivalent of mounts in other video games. Oh, okay. Here you have to go under here. So here, just kill this enemy here. There you go.
Hurry up and run. Your star fragment is...
After all these years, the memory of that day returned like an
Okay, so here you have to choose your name for your character. This is where you get to choose it. And so here I'm gonna enter my own character name, and you can check if it's actually available. Like this one here is already in use, and so make sure that you choose a name that is available here. Okay, so in my case I'm gonna go with this name here, and the name is available, so I'm gonna accept. Use this name, yes. Help me open this stiff door. Sure, I'll open the door.
Hey, it's you! Whoa, are you alright? Did you have that nightmare again?
Yes, it's awful.
Please, don't feel guilty. The Elder wouldn't want you to feel this way forever. Come on, why don't you go out and get some fresh air? Oh, right. Lottie just left to go to Moonshade Town. You should follow her.
Come along with me.
I'd love to come with, but running makes my arm hurt. I'll bet Lottie morphed. If you want to catch up to her, you'll have to morph too. Ah, that Lottie. She didn't take the map again. Can you take it to her? I drew up the map because she asked for it too.
So here you have to take the map here, and by default the interact button is F. So just press F. There we go. And the map button is M by default. And so by pressing M you get to see the map. And here I think this is the tutorial island, because the real world, the real map is actually here. So this here is actually only for the intro, I think.
All right, let's get going. That was Gigantrite!
Oh, I heard that it's passing Wisperian today. Oh, I forgot the map. Adventurer, why are you here?
I brought the map.
Oh, I was just about to go back and get it. Thanks.
Why are you going to Moonshade Town?
Oh, I need to repair something in Crescent Town. Since you're here already, do you want to go to the training grounds with me? It's been a while since you've seen some action.
What if we're late?
I'm sure it's nothing too serious or urgent. Besides, today is the day when Gigantrite passes by Wisperian. Wisperian will be full of energy today, so let's take it easy. Why don't you take this chance to try out a different weapon? You can't keep using that broken sword forever. Then we can go to Moonshade Town. What do you say? Now, let's go.
Stairs are broken. Be careful, my friend. Huh. Seems like Clay is here too, given the special occasion.
Today's the day where the massive divine beast called Gigantrite comes by.
You have to open the gates here. And here, this is a very important part here.
I'm surprised to see anyone here today. Want to try out some weapons?
So here, you get to try the weapons that you want for the first time. And so in this game, classes are kind of fluid, if that makes sense. And so your class is depending on the weapon that you're actually using and that you're actually wearing right now. And so here, you get to try and you get to see different weapons. And so I'm going to go through them very quickly here. And so the Great Sword is a DPS weapon, and it is very single target. It's a melee DPS weapon, very single target. And usually the Great Sword, they stun and then they do big crit damage and also big heavy attacks. And so that's kind of what it is. Usually people play the Great Sword with either the sword or the daggers and sometimes also the spear. So those are usually the best combos. And then there's also the sword here, and here this is a sword and shield, and basically here this is a the weapon for tanking, and so it has a shield. It has a lot of defensives, and that's the weapon that you want to choose if you want to tank, if you want to be tanky and take up some damage. And usually the sword is played with the great sword. It's played with the wand if you want to be really tanky and if you want to heal. And I've seen some people playing with the spear too. And also, I think very recently the crossbow is also becoming kind of relevant with the sword. So that's kind of what it is. But the sword here, you choose this weapon if you want to tank. And by the way, you get to choose 2 weapons, and so the synergies between these weapons is really, really important. Okay, and so the next one is the daggers, and the dagger here is mostly a DPS weapon. And it is very useful for basically any duelist, and it is a very popular weapon for DPS. And I think it's pretty good, like with any weapons, actually. And so it's really good with the great sword. I've seen some people with the sword, but maybe not the best. It's also good with the longbow. It's really good with the crossbow. It's good with the staff. It can be used with the wand, but it's more niche. And it's also very good with the spear. And so the dagger is really good because it does a lot of damage. It does a lot of evasion, and it has the stealth. It has some CCs. It has some healing reduction. And so if you're playing DPS or if you want to play a duelist or something like that, you can't go wrong with the daggers. And then the next one is the longbow, and the longbow is a ranged weapon, and it mostly does heavy attacks, and you stay at range, and it also has some healing and support abilities that can be useful. And most of the time, the longbow is really, really good in PvE because of the deadly marker, which reduces some cooldowns for all your party members. And it's also really good in large-scale PvP because it does a lot of big AoE that are kind of broken. It has the tornado, and usually the longbow is played with the daggers. It's played with the staff. For like the staff longbow is probably the best range DPS, and longbow with the wand is probably is by far the best healer. And so if you want to play healer, full healer, then you play longbow with the wand. And so because the longbow has some good healing abilities, support abilities, that's kind of what it is. And then the crossbow is a very it's a mid-range weapon here. And it does a lot of small damage. And so you see the longbow is a ranged weapon, but it does big, most of the time it does big, heavy attack. But the difference with the crossbow is that the crossbow is a lot of small attacks. And so there's not that many weapons that are good with the crossbows. And so most of the time the crossbow, they play a lot with the daggers. And I think recently, this it's becoming good with the sword too, but most of the time if you play crossbow, you're going to play with the daggers because it's a very, very good single DPS weapon. I mean, it also does some AoE, but it does a lot of DPS with the daggers here. And then the next one is the staff, and here the staff is a weapon that you play at range. And it does some magic attacks here, and so you kind of do damage using the elements with the ice, fire, and all of these things. And most of the time, people play with the staff with the longbow if you want to play range DPS, because the bow has some good range DPS, and then the staff also has some good range DPS, and so it's a very good combo. It's also good with the daggers if you want to play DPS, especially, let's say, for example, in PvP. I think dagger staff is really, really good. And also staff wand is also, I think it is the second best healer after the bow wand. And so if you want to play like something hybrid healer and DPS, then Staff 1 is probably the best combo here. And those are the most popular specs here. And the next one here is the wand. And the wand is the best healing weapon, and everything about the wand is healing. And so if you want to buff your allies, if you want to heal your allies, that's the weapon that you have to use, okay? And it also does some damage, but the damage is mostly over time. And so most of the time the people that use the wand is mostly for buffing and healing. And most of the time people play the wand with either the sword if you want to play it tank and healer. But the problem with the tank, the sword and wand is that you're not doing that much damage, and so that's something here. But it's a very common weapon combo. And also there's also the dagger and wand that is very niche, but I see some people doing it well, and so it's more niche, but it's more rare, but people sometimes they use that. And if you want to play full healer, the best healer is wand and longbow, just like I said before. And so if you want to go full healer, then it's wand and longbow. And then the wand and staff is like an hybrid of DPS and healing, but it's also quite popular as well. And so wand and staff is very, very good. And that's pretty much it for the wand here. And then there's the spear, and the spear is the last melee weapon here. And the cool thing about the spear here is that it does a lot of AoE. I think it's the best melee weapon with a lot of with the AoEs. And so there's also the great sword here that is melee, but the great sword is much more single target. But the spear, with the spear, you're able to do a lot more AoEs, and so it's very, very, very good for that. And so most of the time, the people that play spear, they play with the great sword. So great sword and spear. Sometimes I'll see some tanks with using the sword and spear. So that's something too. And the spear with the dagger is a really, really good DPS combo here. And I think that's pretty much it, I guess. That's pretty much it. And that's pretty much it with the overall weapons here. And what you can do here is that once you open this chest here, is that you get to have all these weapons in your inventory. And you get to, simply by changing the weapon that you wear here, you can try them all if you want. And so I would recommend that you try them all, see what you prefer. And in my case, my favorite combo is staff and wand. This is my favorite. Those are my favorite weapons. And so the thing is that when you change your weapons like this, the abilities that you had are no longer relevant. And so here, by default, when you start the game, you're using the great sword and the bow. But if you're changing weapon, then might not be very relevant. And so, okay, this is not what I want right now. Yes, those are the stats, and those are all the stats for your character. But the thing is that here I'm going to change them. So I'm going to go in skill, and here when you equip some weapons, your skills here are going to change. And so right now I'm wearing the staff and the wand, and because of that, here are the staff abilities, and there are also some passives, and here are the abilities for the wand. And so here I'm the skill menu here, okay? And so here the defensive skill is the block button. So by default it is Q. But right now for me it's R. So usually with this combo here, the wand block is the best. So you can simply drag the abilities that you have on your bars here, so that you're able to use them. So I'm just gonna go and do that for now. I'm gonna put that here. So I'm not gonna go through all the abilities here, but you know, those are the abilities that you have. Those are the passives that you have. You have some masteries here, and the masteries might change in the future in the expansion that is coming soon. And you also have some more specs for your abilities, but it's only unlocked at level 15 here, so I don't have this unlocked for now, but you get to choose some things to change your abilities so that if you want to do more damage, or if you like, it's just little things that add to your main abilities here. But for now I don't have them, so that's kind of what it is here. You simply try different weapons, equip the thing that you want, and the thing is that the weapons that you choose are actually really important here. And so you don't have to choose right away, obviously, because you can change them at any moment, but the thing is that you're going to invest a lot in these weapons, both in the masteries and leveling the weapons themselves, and also you're going to need to level the skills also at some point. And so you can always change your weapons at any moment, but the thing is that once you start investing in a weapon, it's getting harder to switch weapon, if that makes sense. So I would recommend that you try different weapons, and that's kind of what it is. For now, to continue the quest, you kind of have to destroy these dummies. So for now, that's what I'm gonna do here.
Shall we go to Moonshade Town?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep going with the tutorial for now.
Dumore, we're going to Moonshade Town. Can you open the gate?
Sure, Lottie. You'll have a good view of Wisperian on the way too.
Have we spent too much time? Should we hurry?
Whenever Gigantrite visits Wisperian, the town buzzes with excitement and energy. During such an event, you and Lottie left Wisperian's fortress to visit Moonshade Town.
Watch out! What's going on here? Let's go and check it out. I'll go over first. Follow me with your piton and grappling hook.
Okay, so here that's another mechanic that you'll see in the game, and it's not exactly perfect, but you can hook on these walls, and if you want to go higher, sometimes you can see hooks like these. And so by pressing the interact button here, in my case it's F, it allows you to jump
The watchtower was destroyed by
on
the
these
attack.
things.
Although the path was now blocked, you and Lottie made use of the piton and your grappling hooks to continue onward.
So here you have to use your morph to go under here.
It looks like the cart was destroyed by artillery.
Who could be attacking? No. I see a lot of black mitrans.
Okay, so here you actually have to defeat these enemies. When you see the purple circle like this, that's because you have to block or move or move to the side or dodge, things like that. So by default for me, by default it's the Q, but in my case it's R. See, when you see the purple like this, it's a block. It means a block.
Let's use the pulley to reach Moonshade Town. We're almost there. We're almost there. This can't be happening. The pulley lift just broke. We can't get to Wisperian with this.
Let's think of another way.
This lift would let us cross Wisperian to get to Moonshade Town. It's the only way to get there without a boat. This is bad. Burmetz is here. Maybe he has an idea. I will try to find a way. You go ahead and take care of the injured.
Burmetz, can you fix
it
this?
isn't Lottie. Well, between the two of us, we'll have it fixed in no time. Shall we get started?
you.
So here you have to interact with this soldier here by pressing, in my case it's the F button, but it's the interact button. So now I have to follow the semi-toy. So now I have to interact with this wall. And so here in this game, the Emitoys, these little puppets or whatever, they are some sort of friendly, cute little friends that help you in your journey here. And so here, for example, I have a few on my accounts here, and those are like little puppets that help you, that are somewhat helpful, and you can collect them. And so here, it's just part of the tutorial here. Okay, so over here next. I don't know what's happened either next. But we were able to meet because your special power has reached Whisperion. First, let's go and teach a lesson to those bullying Whisperion. The lift has collapsed and can't be used. Well, you can get there with your glide morph. Usually a Starborn, it's second nature. Alright, I will help you. Give me a moment. Okay, so you see here I got another morph, which is, again, the morph is very similar to mounts in this game. So I'm gonna interact with this root here to open it. And so I'm gonna go through the morphs here, and so there are 3 kinds of morphs. I mean, there are more, but the special, I don't really care about them. Those are mostly toys, and they're not really relevant. But there are 3 important morphs in this game. There's the dash, which is the mount, normal mount, ground mount. And then there's the glide, and it's kind of a flying mount, but it's mostly for gliding. And so you can go a little bit higher, just a little bit, but it's mostly for gliding. So I would say it's kind of an equivalent to the flying mount, but it's not really flying. It's gliding. So here I have a few already enabled, already unlocked. And so this is the dash is the ground mount. So I have a few here. Let me grab this one. And then the glide is the gliding mount for kind of flying. And then swim, well, it's for water here. And so I would say that the most important morph, the most important mount is the dash, because this is the one that you're going to use the most. And then I would say that the second most important is the glide. And then the swim, you use it, but I use it a little bit, but not that much. So the swim, it allows you to go faster when you're swimming, but I don't use it that much, honestly. So here you get to practice your gliding mount, your gliding morph. And so to glide, you simply jump and then you press space. And here you have some sort of energy, so you kind of have to be careful. And that's kind of what it is. You're kind of gliding with this mount. And you can go a little bit higher if you press space again. And if you press S, you can do drop. So it's mostly a gliding form.
Damn it! With the pulley destroyed, reinforcements can't reach us!
Is there some way? Oh, someone's coming.
So here I have to speak with Clay.
You? How did you get here? I thought the pulley lift was broken.
I met this whispering Emitor and
I don't really understand what you're saying, but if you got here with the glide morph, you must have the power of a star fragment. But that those with the power of a star fragment can communicate with mysterious entities. Ah, forgive me. My name is Clay Cartan, from the Resistance. For some reason, you seem kind of familiar.
I'm a survivor from the invasion 10 years ago.
Oh, I see. You escaped with me. I'm glad to see you're safe. But now's hardly the time to chat. For now, will you lend us your strength?
Yes, let's do this.
Thank you. Captain Kyra and I will fight the Archean forces on this side and find a way to get in. We'll need you to go into town and rescue the residents with the Resistance.
Alright, I understand.
Please be careful. When this is over, let's be sure to meet again.
After arriving on top of the great
So do I have to kill this guy here? Okay, I think I have to go inside. Yep, okay, so again you have to use the hook here. You kill this guy and then you hook to go higher. So here avoid these AoEs. Avoid these AoEs. You see I did not move. I did not move from that AoE, so that's not good. But I think you can block it. See, when you see a purple circle like this, that's because you have to block. You see I blocked all these attacks. That's the block button.
I've got this.
Okay, so it's my friend here, Clay, that did a protection bubble, I think. So here you have to kill these enemies. This is kind of like a boss. Here we go.
I'll clear the way here as well.
I think the real boss is actually here. Yep. So here you simply have to attack the boss for now, mostly do damage. That's a block here. When you see a purple circle, it's a block. You have to block on time. Get out of the AoE. So here it tells you some movement instruction. The purple circle means that it's a block. So I think I'm done with this tutorial right now.
power of a rampaging star fragment.
I'm sorry, child.
Children, this way!
Hey, wake up! That's strange. I wasn't told about any serious injuries. Hey, are you awake? Do you recognize me? Oh, nice. You wait here. I'll call the healer now.
Lost everything here 10 years ago. Now challenges the might of the Archean Legion. Starborn bravery and determination, forged in
Okay, so I have to
celestial
talk to
fire.
the inventory right here. You're finally awake. Next. What a relief. I was worried that you wouldn't wake up. What happened? Don't you remember? You blasted that orc away with the star fragment's power. Sorry, I don't remember. Really? Your body started glowing purple all of a sudden, then you smashed that orc's eye with your axe. Next. That orc went boom in a flash of purple. It was amazing. But do you feel alright? My right arm feels a little bit strange. Really? Maybe you used too much of the star fragment's power. Next. Then let's go and ask Clay. He said he wanted to talk to you.
Are you in any condition to move? I'm on my way with the healer.
What happened? Do you have any idea how worried I was?
I'm sorry for worrying you.
I thought something happened to you. Clay is waiting inside, so hurry up and go see him.
If the pulley wasn't broken, I would have kicked way more ass.
I heard someone took down
You
that
did good.
giant wall alone.
Ah, you're finally awake. Come this way. Thanks to your defeat of King Vert, we were able to fight off the Archean. The portal in the sky has closed as well.
I don't remember what happened.
We were about to be killed by King Vert when your star fragment went into a frenzy and overwhelmed the enemy. If you hadn't been able to defeat him, none of us would have survived. I'm thankful the Elder protected you 10 years ago, so that today we could stand together to defend Wisp Island. Speaking of which, I'm sure you feel guilty over what happened to the Elder. You didn't cause his death. You should know that. Please, don't blame yourself.
I'll try to think about it that way.
That said, are you alright? Your power, it's clearly too dangerous to leave as is. When a star fragment's power overloads like that, it takes a heavy toll on the bearer's body. It could even kill you. Carrying such a powerful star fragment makes you a target for the Archean too. A decade ago, Khazar and Calanthea invaded this island precisely to steal that power for themselves. That power is unpredictable when it's in a frenzy. It will hurt innocent bystanders who get too close.
What should be done?
I have a friend named Martinet in Castleton, a town in Lasland. She's researching the effects of star fragments. I believe she can help you. Here, take my token. Show this to the storage manager named Melky, and he will help you.
Got it.
When you are ready to leave, touch Luna Zero's head to temporarily enhance your glide ability. That should get you all the way to Castleton. I wish you all the best.
Okay, now I have to touch this little guy here. You've never been outside of the island. Are you nervous? Don't worry, I'm here to help you. If you go to the new world, you'll be able to fix that little problem. It's interesting that I see this tutorial right here because I've been through all these cinematics. I've been through all these situations, and I think it's nice. That's Devant. I think that last cinematic was really nice. Like showing all the different places with the different fights, and I thought that was nice. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the tutorial. Now you actually get into the real world, and this is where currently it's happening, and soon, very soon, next month, this place here, this part of the continent is going to be unlocked. So for now we have this place, and that's kind of what it is for this video, I guess. So that's pretty much it. I hope that it was helpful to you, and peace.